talk a little bit about the elements, the cycles, mother-son technique, and also Korean four-needle technique. So first thing you need to know or review is what channel belongs to what element. So we'll start here. Fire is heart, small intestine, pericardium, and sanjiao. Earth is spleen, stomach. Metal is lung, large intestine. Water is kidney, UB. Wood is liver, gallbladder. Okay, so now we're going to kind of talk about the relationship. So this is going to be the generation or the creation cycle. These elements, so this element is the mother of, and so just remember that the mother point is also the tonification point. So first we have fire is the mother of earth. So you can remember that by thinking about fire makes ashes, and ashes become the dirt, which is earth. Earth is the mother of metal. How we remember that is the earth is where minerals are created. So think about we like mine for metals or minerals in the earth. Okay. Metal is the mother of water. This is another one that's like a little bit abstract. But if you think about like a bowl or a cup, that creates a container for water. And so that's kind of is creating the body of water, right? Okay, and then water is the mother of wood. That's easy. We need water to make trees and plants grow. So water generates wood, and then wood generates fire. That's kind of another easy one because you think like wood is fuel for the fire. So, like I was saying, keep in mind that the mother point is also the tonification point. So if they ask you tonification point, it's going to be the mother element point on the disease or affected organ. So, for example, spleen. If they ask you the tonification point of spleen, it's going to be spleen 2 because spleen 2 is the fire point on earth, and fire is the mother of earth. So we'll see this later on, but you'll know this because it's on your big picture, hopefully. So the opposite direction of the creation is the sun. So we kind of just went through this. It's going to be the same idea. We've just flipped it now. So earth is the son of fire. Metal is the son of earth. Water is the son of metal. Wood is the son of water. Fire is the son of wood. Again, that sun point is going to be to sedate. So we're going to use the same example for spleen. So to sedate spleen, you're going to use spleen 5. That's because it's the metal point on earth. And metal, we just learned, is the son of earth. The other thing you're going to want to know is the Harari. So the Harari is going to be the same point. So if it's spleen, we know spleen's earth. And so the Harari of spleen is going to be the earth point on spleen. In this case, it's spleen 3. The other point we're going to need to know is the grandmother or the control point. This can kind of get a little bit tricky too, but I've kind of put these in so that helps you remember. So we'll go over it. So water controls fire. That's easy, right? Water puts fire out. Wood controls earth. This is a little trickier, but trying to think about the roots of the wood, roots of trees kind of holding on to the earth, right? You get those big like clumps. Then fire controls metal. That's an easy one. Fire melts metal. Earth controls water. This is a little more obscure, but you think of like the shoreline or a canyon, sort of is again making kind of that container for water. So the topography of the earth kind of shapes where the water can go. So that's how earth controls water. And then metal controls wood. If you think about like a saw or an axe is made of metal, and metal can cut the wood. So that's a lot to just kind of remember and keep in mind. So something that I like to do to make it quick and easy to just access these points is I just add this information right onto my big picture, right? So this is just like we've all written a bunch of times, 854, 547, right? So I just devised a way to kind of, after I have filled in all my numbers, I add these letters in. So X is just going to be skip. There's one of these for each one that is just going to be, doesn't matter. It's not related. So we're going to have a skip. And then because PC and Heart are both fire, these two you can see are always going to repeat. But I just like to have it in there. Helps me remember, keeps everything straight. So we have skip, and then T is tonify. So remember that's the mother point. C is control. That's the grandmother point. H is Harari. And S is sun or sedate. So you can see for lung, I have it all listed. The Harari, the control, the tonification point, the sedation point. So you know what points to use for lung. Now, you're already using this to find the element points, right? So the wood point on lung is lung 11, right? The fire point of lung is lung 10, so on. So that helps you kind of be able to use this chart to sort it out. So this is how I remember it. I made the little mnemonics. So for wood, I have Xavier taught tennis at Cedar High School. So what that looks like when I add it to the chart, looks like this. Go from top to bottom. Xavier taught tennis at Cedar High School, right? Tonification, control, Harari, sedate, or sun. Okay? For fire, Chrissy helped Hans take Sarah's x-ray. So that looks like this. Again, we're going to start from the top, work our way down. Chrissy helped Hans take Sarah's x-ray. Again, the X is just so we know to skip that and how to go on to the next one. These ones are easy because it's the first one and the last one. We'll get kind of, you'll know why I have the skips as we sort of get to the middle. So let's take a look at that. For Earth, Thomas shook Sandy's hand expecting candy. So Thomas shook Sandy's hand expecting candy. Again, tonification, sedation, Harari, control. For metal, we've got Hannah extracted the xylophone and sang country tunes. So Hannah extracted the xylophone and sang country tunes. Okay. For water, Sam carried Chelsea and exited the house. Sam carried Chelsea and exited the house. So that just kind of keeps everything in order. You've got it all listed here. Now, I just did just the yin organs because that's going to translate right down to the yang organs. So see here, the woods are all the same here. It's the same here. Xavier taught tennis at Cedar High School, right? So wood, wood, fire, fire, so the same. So that makes it easy. You just have to remember those 5 sentences. So I'll show them to you one more time. You can also always, of course, make up your own. This just kind of helps keep it straight. And this chart will be really helpful to figure out. It'll be quick to figure out the Korean 4 needle points. So for wood, Xavier taught tennis at Cedar High School. Fire, Christy helped Hans take Sarah's x-ray. Earth, Thomas shook Sandy's hand, expecting candy. Metal, Hannah extracted the xylophone and sang country tunes. And water, Sam carried Chelsea and exited the house. So these are what help me kind of just keep it all straight, remember it all. They're quick and easy and fast. Okay, so for Korean 4 needle, this is kind of the pattern or the points that you're going to need to know. So for an excess pattern, what you'll do is you're going to want to tonify the Harari point on the control channel, and then you're going to want to tonify the control point on the diseased channel. Okay, and then still for excess, the next portion is sedate, and so you're gonna want to sedate the Harari point on the sun channel, and then also sedate the sun point on the diseased channel. Then for deficiency, you are going to want to tonify the Harari point on the mother, and then the mother point on the diseased channel. And then you'll sedate, over here we tonified, here we're going to sedate the Harari on the control and the control on disease. If you think about that, that makes sense. Like if you have a deficiency, you want to sedate the control, right? You want it to be less controlled. For deficiency, you want to strengthen it, make it stronger. So we're going to tonify and make the mother stronger so it can help feed that element. And then opposite, of course, for the excess. So this is something else that I write on my big picture. This is how I write it. Quick, easy. I just have excess, deficiency, tonify, sedate. Again, Harari on control, control on disease. It's nice because it's the same here. So I actually don't even write this one. I just draw a little arrow. So you really just have to remember these 3. Okay, so now I'll show you an example. So again, we're going to use spleen. We're going to pretend that we've got an excess pattern for spleen. So if you have an excess, this is the procedure we're going to use. So we're going to start by tonifying the Harari point on the control channel, right? Harari on control. So what is the control of Earth? Remember from the beginning? The control of Earth is wood. So we're going to go for the Harari point on this control channel. So we're going to use our chart here. So what is the Harari point on liver? So we're going to go to liver. What's the Harari point? Right here, because it has an H. We don't even have to figure it out. Liver 1. Okay, then the second portion of this is the control on the diseased, right? Tonify the control point on the diseased channel. So what is the control? We already know is wood. So what's the wood point on spleen? We're going to go to our chart. Here we go. Wood point spleen is 1. Spleen 1. So the first step for an excess pattern for 4 needle is tonify liver 1, tonify spleen 1. Okay, the second part, the sedation part, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sedate the Harari point on the sun channel. So what's the sun of Earth? Metal, right? So what is the Harari point on the sun? So what's the Harari of the sun? Metal. We're going to go, what's the Harari? 8. Long 8. Okay, and then the second portion is sedate the sun point on the disease channel. So remember, our disease channel is spleen. So we're looking for the metal point on spleen. So we'll go to spleen, all the way over to metal, and we've got spleen 5. So the second part is sedate lung 8, sedate spleen 5. So the 4 needles we're going to use for spleen excess is tonify liver 1, tonify spleen 1, sedate lung 8, sedate spleen 5. I would go through some more examples and just practice adding those in on your chart. Hope this helps.